So welcome back everyone, and I was going to do a video today talking about the BioStar RX 6700 XT with its tiny overclock. It is a little bit important, so I will link it down in the description because it is the first RX 6700 XT with an overclock that has those clocks listed. So it's a little bit important in that. But what I wanted to talk about today is actually a result of, well, when I woke up and started getting things together, I noticed an abnormal amount of comments across older videos from people looking for graphics cards and asking questions about processors, availability, and all of things. And it drew me into the fact that while we all here are enthusiasts and we keep up with the market, if you follow the channel and you watch us daily, then you get daily updates and news breaks and all of those things. But most people out there aren't keeping up with the market the way that we are. They're not really that worried about the next items coming around the bend in the next 6 months to 12 months or so, or even 2 years. Sometimes we have leaks way out. But anyway, they're looking for things today, and well, they're a little confused because the guy at Best Buy, or there's no notifications on things letting people know really what's happening to the market. So what's happening, and if you're an ultra enthusiast, guys, I am going to break this down and make it very simple and not overcomplicated. So what's really going on in the grand scheme is the total addressable market for graphics cards, processors, DIY componentry has skyrocketed. It's gone through the roof over now the past year because people were stuck at home, people have gotten into things, people have taken this time to finally upgrade, and there's a lot of people out there struggling financially, but there's a lot of people out there who aren't and who are getting kind of like extra checks, if you will, and they're just taking advantage of this to kind of going and buying new stuff. You know, I've had people contact me who barely know how to operate their phones wanting to get a new computer, and they seem to not mind spending the money. The other thing is consoles. Over the past holiday season, they sold out, they were gone, and they really haven't come back. So a lot of those people shifted over to PCs, and not all of them wanted a laptop. A lot of them wanted a really powerful desktop because, well, they're stuck at home and they're not on the move. So how important is that laptop now? Not quite as big as it used to be. But there is mining. Mining is a big part of it too, and that's a big part of that total addressable market. So you had your normal gamers who were perfectly content spending, well, I say normal gamers, we were enthusiast gamers who were perfectly content with spending $500+ on a single component for their gaming PC, to now sharing that market space with the likes of GPU miners, as well as these people who are wanting to build systems that never have before. Also system integrators, you're fighting with those guys too. So really is more buyers than ever before. But let's break things down on a vendor by vendor. So you got Nvidia, AMD, and Intel. They're your major players here. So what's going on with each one of them? Well, Nvidia, they're on the Samsung 8nm node, and they're using GDDR6X. So one of these was a really good move in the sense that it allowed them to operate within their own foundry almost, because nobody else is using that Samsung 8nm manufacturing process to make graphics cards or processors. In fact, Nvidia was slammed very heavily early on because it was known to be not as efficient as one of their competitors, but it looks like they were playing the bulk game, I guess you will. You know, more on the shelf means more sales, which means more people with your product and than your competitor. The catch here is they're on their highest end part, so the 3080 and 3090, they're using GDDR6X, which is super bend. They're the only cards that are using it, which make it a little harder to get. Now the 3060 Ti and the 3070 and the 3060 now, they're all using G6 memory. The problem is they're super sought after by miners. So because of their efficiency on those particular cards. So the 3060, despite the mining block, it's still making a lot of money for miners out there, and they're going to try and get it no matter what they have to do. But that's what's going on there. Now, they did a good move with the 8nm, but it's just, you can't buy them. They can't make enough. They simply can't. They've tried to mitigate it by rolling back and reintroducing some of the Turing-based cards from TSMC's 12nm process on the the HX cards, so the hashing cards, so the 30 and 40 HX cards with this crypto mining processors, but those haven't hit the market yet, so we don't know quite what impact they're going to have. Now, a lot of people have criticisms about those parts, but if it ultimately can free up some cards, I don't know. We'll have to see. There's a lot of skeptics out there, but that's what's going on with Nvidia right now. Now, AMD is in a very, very different position because a lot of people want they want the RX 6000 series and they want a Ryzen 5000, but everything that they make right now is on TSMC's 7 nanometer process node, except for the IO die. That's 12 nanometer, but that's also a global foundry, so they've got those parts. But look, guys, 7 nanometer TSMC is fan-freaking-tastic. Both of my processors that I run, actually my personal ones, my workstation, I use a 3900X. My laptop, it uses a Ryzen 7 4800HS, and even our test bench uses a Ryzen 9 5900X. Catch here is Ryzen 3000, Ryzen 5000, and the mobile parts, both 4000. So Ryzen 3000, 4000, 5000 parts, and the RX 6000 series, as well as the Xbox Series S and Series X, and the PlayStation 5, they're all using TSMC. So what you're having here is ultimately a bottleneck at the foundry. So they have to split these wafers up for each one. They're all being made in the same place, which means you either have to wait for the place to build new facilities to be able to get caught up with demand, and it's just really hard to do. And yields don't seem to be quite as good as what people want them to be. Maybe, and the reason I say that is because you would see at least one of something come on the market, but right now it seems like the 3600, the Ryzen 5 3600, or the Ryzen 7, the 5800X and the 3600 seem to be coming online more often than anything else. So if you're looking for a Ryzen processor, those are probably going to be your best bets. Graphics cards, well, we'll get back to that one in a moment. But what if you're looking for Intel? Well, Intel uses their own foundry. They do their own thing, and quite honestly, right now they're easy to find. If you want an Intel part, if you're buying a processor, if you need a processor, and you don't want to wait and you don't want to fight the hassle, chances are you can get a 10th gen Intel part pretty easy on a 400 series motherboard and even a 500 series. Now, whether you should or shouldn't, that's up to you, because the 10 series or 10th gen isn't that bad. 11th gen, they're coming around. They seem to be not exactly the greatest thing ever, and the prices are kind of high, so maybe either way. If you want an Intel processor, you're not going to have a hard time finding them. They're in laptops everywhere. They're sitting on the shelves at Best Buy, but quite honestly, it's the only thing you can buy. The catch here is Intel doesn't have a graphics card. They don't have any GPUs right now. I know Xe is coming, Xe HPG is coming, but if you're watching this and you're a normal guy, you don't even know about that, and you don't even care because you can't buy it. So what do you do at the end of the day with all of this? Well, there's a few options. You're not completely in despair. Let's go through the options as they go, and maybe we talk about what's good and what's bad. So find a queue. So EVGA for graphics cards, they do this thing where you go in and they sell their graphics cards through their own site, and they're not going crazy with the pricing. Kudos to EVGA. They're the only ones that at the time of the filming have a reference or MSRP version of the RTX 3060. As soon as we finish the review for it, it'll be done. The card's sitting right over here. I promise we're almost done with that. But it's $329.99. It's the RTX 3060 XC Black. So if you see the XC model and it's $380, $390, that's not this one. The black model. So anybody that's reviewed one that's the black model, it's the reference price one. But get in a queue. You're gonna wait. That's all I can say is you're gonna wait. They're not gonna call you tomorrow. They're not gonna send you an email the next day, or even maybe a few days down. But you're in the queue. Whenever your chance comes up, they'll give you the email, let you buy it at the price that they're selling it for. You don't have long to buy it, so you better be ready for it. Your other option, Newegg is doing the Newegg Shuffle. I personally don't like this thing because it's unlike a queue, it's a raffle system, and you go in and you pick from a series of graphics cards that they know they're going to get a drop for, and in a window they will drop them and they just randomly pick somebody, and if you're ever so lucky to spend your money, they'll send you an email and let you buy one. So if you really want one, that's a way to do it. I've actually known a lot of people who have gotten cards through Newegg Shuffles, and they've mostly been Nvidia cards. But what if you want an AMD card? What if you want that 6800, 6900 XT, 6800 XT, or even the upcoming 6700 XT? AMD.com is probably where you're going to want to be for that one, because they are listing and they are selling them directly through their site. And I know everybody doesn't have time to sit and hit F5. So what your options are at that point, if you've got free time, you got an auto load, they will lock you out. Don't do it too fast. There's bot sites. You can watch these bots on YouTube, and they're doing drops. When a drop happens, they'll tell you where it is and where to go. Or you could buy a bot. I've known somebody here locally that purchased a bot and put in his information and let the bot buy him a car. He didn't get to be picky. He wanted a 3080, and when it went up, he had his card in there and he spent more than he meant to. So it is what it is on that one. Now, what are your realistic options if you don't have a whole lot of time like that? Well, laptops. Do you want a laptop? Doesn't seem like a whole lot of people do. I know people they were buying them for mining. Idiots. That's just all I can say about that. Idiots. And well, people aren't going around a whole lot. Soon they may be, so they may be back in the market for it. But for right now, a laptop might be a good alternative right now. The pricing isn't out there. It's not too terrible, so just be careful with what you buy. The other one here is pre-builts. Pre-builts are definitely back on the menu, and this happens every time the mining scene kind of comes around. People looking for a computer, they can't buy the individual components, so they go and buy the pre-built. Do pre-builts cost more than building it yourself? Yeah, generally they do, but right now, no, they're not. They're actually going to cost you a lot less, especially if you're looking for something like a 3070 or better. Might be your best bet. Go to get a pre-built, spend, chances are you need a whole system. I don't know. I'm not trying to justify spending $1,500 on a pre-built system, but if you're going to spend $1,000 on just a graphics card, why not spend the extra $500 and get the whole stinking system? Even if here's a thought. Right now, if you've got a 1080 Ti or 1080, or you got a 10 series card and you buy that $1,200 to $1,500 total system, maybe take your old card, throw it in there, and then sell the whole system. Maybe never even turn the system on. Maybe just get the graphics card out of it. I don't know. Those are really your options right now. The other option, and nobody really likes this one, is pay the price. If you want the cards, go to eBay. People are selling them brand new. Are they scalpers? Yeah. Do they suck? You betcha. But if you want the card, you can get it. You're just going to pay a lot for it, and I don't recommend it. I already don't recommend spending any dime over MSRP, but maybe 10-20%. That's just where we're at now. This is just the market when we got more buyers than ever before, and mining is still kicking. I check the markets daily. They're not going down. There's no sign of reprieve. Hopefully, we just get I don't know. That's all I got, guys. Look, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Didn't want to hit you up with a bunch of news today. Wanted to maybe share this video with people to help them out who are looking for graphics cards and are really confused what's going on in the markets, because it's a lot more than just mining, as a lot of people want to say. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.